breaking news update now. Family and friends are in mourning tonight after a 6-year-old boy is killed after sadly being hit by a car in Frayser. Police say the little guy was hit at the intersection of Signal Street and Whitney Avenue and later died at Le Bonheur. A driver was arrested and charged. WRG's Mike Suriani is live at MPD's Austin P station with reaction to this horrifying set of circumstances. Mike?
Hey, good afternoon, Greg. Yes, a very sad situation. A 6-year-old boy struck and killed Thursday just feet away from his home on Whitney Avenue in Frayser. Now, family still too upset to talk to me, but a neighbor described what she heard and saw Thursday.
Well, I was walking through the house and I heard an impact, and I thought it was a car wreck.
Helen Carter lives on Whitney Avenue in Frayser, close enough Thursday afternoon to see and hear neighbors traumatized after a young boy was struck by a car.
When I came out, his family was screaming and running up and down the street, and she said a 6-year-old baby was hit by the car. All I know is she said he was playing with a ball. That's all I know. And they were crowded over there, and they were covering him up, and cars were everywhere.
According to Memphis police, the youngster was in the westbound lane of Whitney Avenue when he was struck by a car going west on Whitney near Signal Street. The driver of the car, identified as 23-year-old Kenyante Goss, remained on the scene and was charged with driving while license suspended, revoked, or canceled, and financial responsibility law violation. The youngster was pronounced deceased at Le Bonheur Children's Hospital. Helen Carter still can't believe what happened and says vehicles are always speeding by her house and accidents are commonplace.
It was loud. It was a horrible impact. That's all I know. I was like, they didn't have a wreck out here again.
She says crashed vehicles normally end up in her front yard. Friday, no one in the victim's family wanted to speak about the 6-year-old, as balloons and stuffed animals are the only reminders of Thursday's chaos.
And it was covered with people. It was a lot of people. A couple of vans came right here, and it was the National Guards that came out of the van, which shocked me. But it was a horrible scene.
Yeah, back out live. We checked, and Kenyante Goss was given a $10,000 bond, and she is scheduled to be in court Monday at 9 a.m. Reporting live for your news leader, Mike Suriani, WREG News Channel 3.
Heartbreaking news out of Frayser.
District Attorney's Office is dropping charges against a woman connected to a crash that killed a 6-year-old child. Kenyante Goss faces charges of driving on a suspended license and no insurance after a deadly wreck at Signal Street and Whitney Avenue. She faced those charges, I should say. Now investigators say the boy ran into the road to retrieve the ball and was struck and killed. Goss remained on the scene following the crash, and while prosecutors dropped the charges, the DA's office says the investigation is not.
So 6-year-old Kenai Thomas's life ended on Thursday afternoon. It seems to be like a very tragic accident to me. The driver has been charged, but it does seem like it was just an accident. She's even apologized to the family, and that's a big step in the right direction in my book. Now, Kenai was in the driveway of his home on Whitney Avenue near Signal Street, which is in the Frayser area of Memphis, Tennessee. Playing with a ball, looks like he was playing basketball, and he kind of gets out of the camera view, and you can moments later hear the actual sound of the accident. It is not on recording, but you can hear the sound of the actual accident. 23-year-old Kenyante Goss is the one who actually ended up hitting him. She did stay on the scene. She did not leave the scene. She's been very apologetic since the actual incident took place, and it just seems like he may have ran into the street area and she did not have time to stop and ended up accidentally hitting him. Now, from the video, it looks like the other vehicles that are going back and forth at the same time around her are all traveling at the same speed. So it does not seem like speed was a factor. So they did not charge her with speed. So I'm assuming that it was really just he was in the way. She could not stop in time. Unfortunately, their paths crossed and he is no longer here. Now, they did go ahead and charge her with driving while license suspended, revoked, or canceled. They also charged her with financial responsibility law violation. Now, they did go ahead and give her a $10,000 bond, and she is due in court on Monday. And again, she has been very apologetic to the family for the loss that they are enduring. Of course, she's like, I know this will not bring him back, but I am very sorry that he is no longer here. And I think think the acknowledgement of the actual situation is a step in the right direction. The family has not yet made any public statements at this time. They are, of course, very distraught about this loss. He was only 6 years old, and they just have not publicly really said anything yet. Of course, this is a little bit too fresh for them since this did happen on Thursday afternoon. My heart goes out to everyone involved in the situation because, again, it really does seem like an unfortunate, tragic accident. It does not seem like something that she unfortunately could have been avoided. Of course, she shouldn't have been driving on this doggone license that she shouldn't have been rolling around on. But regardless, if somebody else was in the same position, because there were multiple cars going down that same street around the same time, it could have been the same scenario with somebody else. So, charges have been dropped against Kenyante Goss. She is the 23-year-old out of Memphis that had the accident where she ended up unfortunately hitting a 6-year-old who was playing with his basketball in front of his home, and he ran out in front of the street, and she unfortunately ended up running him over. Now, she did have court yesterday, and Judge Karen Massey did decide to go ahead and drop the charges that she had already been charged with, which was the license that she had and a no insurance claim when she was actually driving the vehicle at the time of the accident on March 12th. Now, I know y'all finna be up in uproar about that because some of y'all like, she should have been charged with this, she should have been charged with that. Y'all wanted to upgrade the charges. Y'all made scenarios that were not true be some reality. She was not going over the speed limit. She was going at the flow of traffic. If you watch the extended video, you can see the other vehicles that were going by before she even got to that situation that were traveling at the same speed, if not faster than her. So she was driving at the speed limit. Yes, it is accurate. She shouldn't have been driving in the first place, but anybody else that was on that road driving at that same time could have been the person who unfortunately hit him. She stayed at the scene. She held him until the police got there. She acknowledged her wrong in the situation. She was not running from the situation. She was like, hey, this is what I did do. That had no account in the situation to some of y'all, which I find very weird. This whole, we need to be perfect, it's a requirement to be perfect, is just absolutely positively weird to me. She made a mistake. She was in the wrong. She acknowledged that, and that to me is a big step in the right direction because nobody had to tell her she was in the wrong. Nobody told her she had to do this, that, and that. Her acknowledgement of the situation is how I would say that's the kind of person I want to be around. That's the environment that I want to be around. I'm not perfect, and y'all with this want to be perfect mentality, find hell. I really want a lot of y'all to find the opening of the pits of hell because that's where you need to be. I'm not a safe space for you because it was completely an accident. She acknowledged her wrong in the situation, and I hope that she is getting a counselor so that she can talk to somebody and not have guilt for the rest of her life because this will not leave her. She will never mentally not have this situation in her head that life ended on her watch. It will never leave her. So I do hope that she talks to somebody who can really talk her through how to move forward in this situation, especially with a lot of guilt from other people that are going to try and put it on her. Yeah. Find them pits of hell. Now, I do believe that Kanai's family has spoken. They've talked about, this loss, how devastating it is for them. A lot of people feel like they are 100% at fault. I personally feel like it's a 50-50 situation. They were at fault, and so was she. My heart goes out to everybody involved in the situation as they are needing to move forward from this situation, as they are dealing with this very traumatic situation and this very tragic loss of a 6.
So there's a video going around about a 6-year-old boy in Frayser, Tennessee, getting hit by a car while playing basketball in his front yard. The video is all over social media. If you want to see the video, go to x.com. So on Thursday, March 12th at 4 p.m., police responded to a 6-year-old boy who was struck at Signal Street and Whitney Avenue by Keontae Ghost is being charged with driving while on a suspended license and not having insurance. Keontae was driving westbound on Whitney Avenue when she struck the 6-year-old boy. She remained at the scene. So the little boy was transferred to the Bonner Children's Hospital in critical condition where he died. Keontae is being held on a $10,000 bond. And she is being charged with misdemeanor charges. It doesn't really say what she's being charged with, but mainly without a license and insurance, basically. And she has court March 16th, on Monday. And she was released on bail with $10,000 on Friday, March 13th. So now there's an update in the case. Monday, March 16th, Keontae, I don't know how to say her name, went before a Shelby County judge, and the judge drops the charges against her. But she was cited with driving without a driver's license and not having insurance. But all the other charges that were misdemeanors were dismissed against her. All because they said that the boy ran into the street to get the ball, and she stayed at the scene. And so she's not being charged with that, but the parents can come back and have like a civil case against her. But this wasn't like actually her fault for hitting the little boy. This the parents' fault because they weren't watching this little boy. The mom, the article that I read, the mom said, or one of the relatives or a neighbor said that she was walking around her home and she heard a boom. And so in the video, you can see the parents saying, "Oh, where's the little boy at?" I didn't hear the name. And uh, they're running back and forth. And then when they finally see, he's like laying in the street. So there's people saying that the mom got arrested. I didn't read that in any of the articles that I was doing, that the mom got arrested. So I don't know where that's coming from. But hell, what do I know? I'm just a talking head.
A 6-year-old in Frayser, Tennessee was just unalive by being struck by a car. Little boy was outside playing basketball in the yard. Early, like, I don't know what time it was, but he was out there by himself playing basketball. And you see him bouncing the ball. And at one point in time, he threw the ball and he kicked the ball into the road. Now, for a minute, he sat there and looked as if he wasn't going to go out there to the yard. He like looked at the door. He looked at the road. He looked at the door. And then he ran over there into the road. As he ran into the road, it looked like cars is coming flying down that road, like too fast for kids to be playing outside by themselves. A Chrysler 200 that was driven by this girl, Keontae Goss, struck the little boy. Now, she wasn't arrested for striking and unaliving him. She was arrested because she was driving without suspended. Well, she was driving with a suspended driver's license. She ain't had no driver's license. She wasn't supposed to be driving no damn way. Said the little boy made it to the hospital and he was pronounced unalive. He went to the hospital in critical condition, and then he was unalived at the hospitals where he succumbed to his injuries. Send my deepest condolences to the mother and the father and the family of the little young man. I really do. He seemed like a very energetic and sweet little boy. Hopefully that if they have anything else, any updates, I'll keep y'all updated. But parents, we gotta do better.
Is that Kanat Casey? Casey, is that Kanat? So yeah, let's see if that's Kanat house.
Now,
I just saw that video of that 6-year-old little boy that got ran over by that car. And I watched that video. I didn't want to watch the whole thing, but I watched it. You couldn't see where he actually got hit by the car and he was unalive, but you could see how he was playing with that ball outside, unattended, alone. But what got me the most was I saw him when he was playing basketball and he had the ball went to the side of the street and he kicked the ball into the street. And the whole time you can see those busy cars coming up and down the street. Me as a parent, if I'm living like that, thank God I don't live in an area where cars are constantly running back and forth like that. But you have to be very careful of kids. We never let our kids go outside unattended. That 6-year-old boy was just being a 6-year-old boy. I saw him kick the ball into the middle of the street. Cars were steady coming at that time. And he, unattended, ran out there to get that ball. What got me was how after the incident happened, here come all the family out the house just hollering and what happened and all this stuff right here. But before this happened, why wasn't 1 or 2 family members out there playing with him anyway? He was out there by himself. You can never leave kids alone, unattended, by themselves. I don't care what kind of neighborhood you live in. I don't care if it's traffic or non-traffic. It's just not safe. Today, yesterday, last year, 20 years ago, to let a child be outside playing unattended, because things do happen. Prayers going up for that family. But I was just curious, like, why would people let him be outside playing unattended by himself on that busy street? He's only 6 years old, you know.
And that 6-year-old was going to die that day anyway. Unfortunately, I just watched the video on Facebook, and the moment he kicked that ball into the road, the adults around him should have stood up when he was playing by that road and told him stop playing with that ball by that road. Then y'all see him kick that ball into the road and y'all still sitting down. If you know how kids' minds work, if that ball done got away from him, you know he gonna try to get it. And even though it's in the road, he not fucking thinking about safety. He thinking, I want my ball, I want to play, I'm finna go get that bitch. And what he tried to do, go get that ball. He was able to get the fuck from in front of the house. Nobody called him back. Nobody was standing up. Nobody was saying where the fuck he at. But until he get hit by a car, then everybody jumping up and fucking screaming. If y'all actually gave a fuck about him, y'all would have been on his ass while he was outside. Like, that's like when that lady kids fell in that pond. I didn't say nothing, but it's like, how 3 of your kids running out the house without you? And then they fucking drown in a 3-foot fucking pond. Well, that situation was already crazy. That situation was crazy with 3-foot pond. But like, why do y'all let y'all kids get out y'all sight? Then when they get out y'all sight and something bad happened to them, it's like everyone skips past the parenting. Like, she was dead wrong for driving that fast in a residential area, but I'm not finna act like I've never sped somewhere I won't post a speed. And she did take accountability for hitting the little boy, because yeah, you did hit him. But his parents, had somebody been watching him, he wouldn't have got hit. Had somebody been watching him play, they would have seen that ball go on that road and they would have got that ball for him safely. Had somebody been watching him, he wouldn't have had to get hit by a car. Like, I'm not saying she's wrong for speeding, and yeah, it's sad she hit him, but it seemed like nobody gave a fuck till he got hit. Like, are y'all watching this boy or not? Like, what the fuck? It was like 3 adults that popped out of nowhere, thin fucking air when he got hit. But where was y'all when he kicked that ball there? And I know, like, this is, people gonna say this is selfish and wrong to say, but at the end of the fucking day, that's just how I feel. How y'all pop up after he get hit? Like, this is why I say, like, a lot of y'all just sorry ass parents that shouldn't have no fucking kids, because this the type of bullshit that be happening. Like, why the fuck you got a kid and he playing outside and nobody is physically right there watching him? We see on the camera, even if y'all in the cut, he was away from the cut. Y'all popped out the cut when he got hit by a car. Like, what the fuck? And it may seem insensitive, it may be insensitive, but I just feel like at the end of the fucking day, if she wouldn't have hit him, he still would have went in that road and somebody would have almost hit him if they wouldn't have hit him. Like, that shit is sad.
There was a 6-year-old boy that was fatally struck by a car in Memphis Thursday afternoon. And the driver did get arrested. And yes, she was speeding. I feel like everybody that was in that house should also get arrested too. Because after it happened, after the little boy got struck by the car, all of the adults came running out the house. It's like, why none of those adults were watching him? Like, why? Like, they all came out of the house. It seems like nobody was outside while that little boy was outside. Rest in peace to that little boy. It's so heartbreaking. And then that road looked so busy, like cars driving by, and it's very sad. Very, very sad.
So, guys, we know that the charges have been dropped against the young lady that hit the 6-year-old child, okay? from my understanding, the mother has been picked up and charged. Now, I didn't know what to believe last night, but it's a lot of videos that's coming out saying that's what happened, that the mother is being charged, okay? But let me say this. If that is true, I don't feel that the mother should be in jail. I feel that the mother should be making arrangements to put her child to rest, even if they wanted to come back to charge her. And I don't feel that they should. They could have waited until this lady put her child to rest and then come knock on the door and do what you have to do. Imagine this lady, if they did arrest her, I don't know, and is sitting in a cell right now, you being charged for what happened with your child. You haven't even went and made arrangements. That's enough to run somebody crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, give us some type of grace. Did she know that that was going to happen? No. But like I say, things happen in a wink of an eye. I don't feel that mother should be sitting in jail, if that is true. But I'm starting to see a lot of videos saying that they came back and picked her up, okay? If you guys know any information, please comment and let me know, or tag me in any more information so I could come back and update a few other people, okay? Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed.